May I have your attention, please? If you have not done so at this time, please silence all cell phones and pagers and please sign in. Thank you.
Good morning. This meeting of the Louisiana Tax Commission is hereby called to order. This meeting is being held at the offices of the Louisiana Tax Commission at 1051 North 3rd Street, Suite 225, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The date is Wednesday, February 20th, 2019, and the time is 10:02 a.m. Please call the roll.
Chairman Shahardy.
Here.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Here.
Commissioner West.
Here.
Commissioner Vercher.
Here.
Commissioner Wood. 4 present and a quorum.
Thank you. There being no old business to take up at this time, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is consideration of the approval of the amended 2018 tax roll for Lafourche Parish.
We did receive, this is Phyllis King, Louisiana Tax Commission. We did receive an amended millage report for Lafourche Parish. I know it's a little unusual for us to get things this late, but we did receive report because of a millage error, and the Louisiana Legislative Auditor requires, in order for them to do their reports, that if things change in the millages, that they do have signed documentation from the Commission. Now the assessed values have not changed. All that changed were 2 millages were transposed, so therefore the tax bills were incorrect for those 2 items. So therefore that's what they provided for us on these millages. So staff recommends approval of this new report.
So 2 different districts, like 2 mills and 3 mills, got transposed to 3 mills and 2 mills. Is that what happened?
There was, I do have, it was North Lafourche levy, and there were 2, okay. One was the North Lafourche levy 2018 levy board, and the other was the North Lafourche levy constitutional levy board. Evidently there were 2 different millages for those.
So this one got put here, and this one got...
One was 5, one was 7, and they were
and they got,
reversed.
instead of 5 and 7, it was 7 and 5.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they are noted on here on the millage report if you'd like to note back to it.
So the taxes won't change for the taxpayer. In other words, they won't have to send out revised billings.
They will, because evidently they're going to 2 different places. I mean, it seemed like it's, to me, if it's levy board, it should still be the same place, but she did say that they will have to send out those for that particular district.
Okay.
So somebody overpaid and somebody underpaid.
Well, somebody may not have been in that district.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So somebody overpaid, somebody underpaid. All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the amended 2018 tax roll for Lafourche Parish.
Second?
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent. Commissioner West.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. Next items on the docket are the appeals. The appeal of Paul Harris versus the Orleans Parish Board of Reviews listed on the docket was settled. The next item on appeal is the appeal of Assessor Errol Williams versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 18-22176-005. I'll ask all parties to please come forward. I'll also ask anybody who plans on testifying this morning to please come forward as well, so that you can be sworn in as a witness. If you do not come forward and get sworn in and plan on testifying, you will not be allowed to testify. So, as a witness anyway. So I'll ask our attorney to swear you in.
Good morning. I'm going to administer the oath at once. You'll affirm the oath by stating I do, and then state your name for the record. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. You'll say it to the mic so it's clear on the record.
I do. John Boje.
Russell Amaraz, Orleans Parish Assessor's Office. I do.
I do. Mark Gillespie, Louisiana Tax Commission.
Very good. Thank you.
It is the Tax Commission's policy to accept all documents into the record that were timely pre-filed in accordance with the Commission's rules and regulations. This will be done at the conclusion of all hearings on today's docket. Accordingly, there is no need to formally offer or introduce the exhibits into the records during your appeal hearing. However, if you intend to object to the submission of any of the opposing counsel's exhibits, you must notify the Commission at the start of your appeal hearing. As a reminder, this is an administrative hearing, and as such, the rules of evidence are relaxed. The Commission is inclined to review and consider all evidence submitted and to accept such evidence into the record. All right, this is an assessor appeal, so we'll ask Mr. Alvarez to move forward.
Good morning, Commissioners.
And pull your microphone close.
I'm sorry. Good morning,
Some of
Commissioners.
us up here are hard of hearing.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
They're hard of hearing, and I don't want to embarrass them, and they have to tell you they're hard of hearing.
I gotcha. So this is a hearing for 2601 Octavia Street. The assessor initially revalued the property as if it was 100% in commerce. It came to our attention that the property is under some has some condition issues and some condition issues involved with it. It was appealed to the Board of Review. The Board of Review upheld our initial value. It was subsequently appealed to the Louisiana Tax Commission. We reviewed the Tax Commission's appraisal. This hearing was heard last year by the Tax Commission. The assessor disagreed with the value set by the Tax Commission last year, and we just reaffirm our position that yes, the property has condition issues, but we feel that the appraisal submitted by staff was a lower value, and that the subject property is in a superior neighborhood than the comparables used, and no location adjustment was made. So we feel, or our prayer is that the Tax Commission increase the value of the building from $600 to $43,200 for a total value of $123,600. If the Tax Commission, as the Tax Commission can see, the documentation provided by the Assessor's Office shows that the average property sales in the subject neighborhood is around $164 a square foot, with poor and fair being around $104 a square foot. The total average of the price per square foot in the subject neighborhood is around that $164, $168 a square foot. The comparables used, the average sales in those neighborhoods range from $104 a square foot to $111 a square foot. So there is a observed difference between the subject neighborhood and the comparable neighborhoods. So we feel that as this is a superior neighborhood to the comparables, that the comparable neighborhood should have had a location adjustment. And that's it.
Did you all do a site inspection of the property?
Yes, we did. We did an exterior. We did not do an interior of the property.
Did an exterior. Okay. Are you aware of the comments made by the Board of Review? I guess it's the appraiser for the Board of Review. This might be paraphrasing, but according to what we have in front of us, it says that the foundation has been completely compromised and cannot be repaired. Therefore, the improvements to the land have no contributory value, and the value of the property should be the land.
I'm not aware of those comments. I'm wondering if those were the initial the initial comments by the Board of Review, because there were no comments this year by the Board of Review.
Okay.
This has been, I think, heard. This is the third year,
Yeah.
so it might have been that initial one.
Yeah, my concern about this property is that the slab appears to be well compromised, unfortunately. And from a market value standpoint, anytime you have a slab that's compromised, it's a serious impingement on any potential value that the improvements may make to the land, to the property as a whole. And you know, that I think has been the position of the commission in our past rulings, that regrettably, the slab of the house, and I suppose it's due to all that construction that's going on. You know, of course, you can fill us in on that, but you know, that the improvements just don't seem to be adding value. If anything, the improvements may be impinging on the potential value of the property, you know, because of the damage.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
To
not
them.
sure an exterior inspection would really
Yeah.
show all the slab damage too.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to get inside to really appreciate how far gone the foundation is.
Well, I am not a engineer or an architect. I only have the documentation or the interior photos provided by the staff appraiser, and I do admit that there is foundation damage. I'm not sure that there's, even though the slab is compromised, there's enough damage to systematically wipe out the total value of the building. I would be remiss as an appraiser to do that without getting a report from a engineer or an architect stating that there is no inherent value. I don't feel that as appraisers, myself or staff would be qualified to make that judgment.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Suppose you don't mean to be disparaging your home, but you just got to talk about
It's-
the facts.
No, I understand. It's an unfortunate reality that we've been dealing with for over 5 years now.
What
I-
condition is the property in, as far as I mean, is it repairable? Is it?
My understanding is it is not repairable to be able to be repaired to code, which is what you would need to do
Right.
for sale. My understanding is the brick chain wall that makes up the perimeter of our house is the main foundation, and it has been compromised on the side of Clara Street, which is closest to that construction zone and where all the dump trucks made thousands of trips over the years past there, shaking the house. But that section there is compromised to where it cannot be shored up appropriately to be repaired to code. So we were told by the people that came and gave us the cost to cure. And that amount was $254,000.
If you were to shore it up?
Well, there's no, yes, I guess technically shoring up, but I guess when I think of shoring up, I think of kind of repair. But they would have to raise the house, demolish the existing slab, and rebuild the foundation and lower the house back on top of it. And they say that would take at least 9 months, of which we would not be able to live there, obviously, and would have to, make arrangements to live somewhere else.
And that's the $254,000 that you're talking about?
The 254, as I understand it, is strictly the construction estimate. That does not include any reparation or any type of arrangement for payment to us for
Yeah.
how we'll be out of our living.
In theory, that's what it would cost to repair.
Yes, sir.
Meaning, raise the property, demolish the slab, redo the slab, and then lower the house back onto it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If I may,
Sure.
I have to mention that also, you may recall last year for the appeal, I was not able to attend because I had to attend jury duty in Orleans Parish, and I was selected for a trial, and the judge had to call the commission to let you guys know that I, in fact, was in his courtroom. Coincidentally, this week, my wife is in jury duty.
You're lucky.
Yeah, it was just 8 months ago that I was appealing the same case for the previous year, and now I'm back here, and it just happens to be that, I don't know, I just find it curious that she is now in jury duty. I guess they couldn't call me because of the 2-year limit on when you can serve. Every 2 years I get called, but I just found that very curious. and I felt like I needed to mention it.
Yeah. Well, I doubt there's a conspiracy between the assessor's office and the,
I'm
and
not
the
suggesting
courts,
that, but I just,
but,
you can see how having lived in our situation, it seems like the cards are stacked against us, and
well,
these things.
fortunately, you won't be back next year, but if you are, and one of y'all gets called for jury duty, then it's beyond a coincidence.
Fair enough.
With respect to prior years, should there be a motion to incorporate the record and the, I guess what was presented last year in the findings as far as?
Yeah, I think we should. I think we can do that. We'll do that. We'll get Mr. Gillespie's testimony, and then we can accept a motion to incorporate, since it's all the same hearing. I mean, it's the same discussion basically and the same argument. So we can incorporate those hearings into this record. So, anything else?
Yeah, actually, another peculiar situation is I'm still waiting to be refunded the overpayment of my property tax from last year. It's been going through the bureaucracy of City Hall for I don't know how many months now, and I've yet to receive the repayment because I paid the full property tax amount based on the assessor's
Right.
what his amount he arrived at, and then it was found here that. So I just you could see how my wife and I are extremely frustrated
I understand.
at this situation,
And it should not take that long.
no, I don't believe it should.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything the assessor's office could do to help expedite that for them?
Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. We have no control over the tax bills, the payments, the collection of it. It's completely different jurisdiction. It's the city of New Orleans versus the parish of Orleans. The city of New Orleans is notorious for delaying refunds. Unfortunately, there's nothing that our office can do, and we have no control over it. I could speak to someone, but that's...
You may want to try calling your
Fine.
council member
Yeah.
in the city and see if they can give you some help.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Gillespie?
Yes, good morning, Mark Gillespie with the Tax Commission. I did personally inspect the interior and the exterior of 2601 Octavia Street, and using the sales approach with 3 sales in roughly the same neighborhood as the subject in the Uptown Broadmoor, Uptown, and Uptown University locations. Understand this property, of course we already know the condition, but it's only 1,188 square feet. It's not that big. Making nominal adjustments essentially came up with the land value of the property. So after I did the appraisal, I took the liberty of finding sales in the area that are in excellent condition and took those sale prices and subtracted the cost to cure provided by the taxpayer. And believe it or not, 7 sales, the median adjusted sale price is $81,000, which is exactly what I came up with here. So I feel pretty confident about this. And in addition, the foundation is visibly, it's wavy and cracked. It's in bad shape. And of course, we have the cost to cure that was provided by the taxpayer, which is another indication of the condition as well.
And it's readily apparent how
Oh, yes,
poor
sir.
the poor condition of the
Yeah.
slab?
He was talking about the chain wall in the basement area. You can see it looks like the wall is barely on the chain wall, and it looks like it could just easily be knocked over. Kind of scary. Anyway.
All right. Any questions?
Is this a inhabited property?
Yes, sir.
How long has it been inhabited?
Since we purchased it in 2013.
So you purchased it and the foundation was that way?
No. When we purchased it, around 3 months later, construction for the SELA project on Jefferson Avenue began, which was a major construction project where the intersection nearest our house, they dug down to a depth of 20 or 30 feet to replace a drainage junction.
Yeah.
And they apparently did not do it correctly because, and I'm not exaggerating, over the course of 3 or 4 years, they had to come back and dig it up, I believe 5 or 6 times, redig it up. I don't know if that's part of the the phasing of the construction, or I don't know. But anyway, that amount of mass of soil missing from the ground right there, of course, can affect subsidence, the water table, all kinds of things. And, you know, our house is an older constructed home, and it just couldn't withstand it. Of course, the pylon driving for years did not help. The main cause, in my opinion, is they were using the side street nearest my house, Clara, as an access road to get to the construction site. And I work at home 3 days a week, and I have a little home office, and I overlook Clara and Jefferson Avenue, and so I experienced it all firsthand. And these trucks would come by, and with that giant area of soil missing from the ground, it did not take much vibration for our house to, I'm not just talking about vibrate, I'm talking like shake.
I'm familiar with, let me ask you, is that happening today?
No, they as of maybe 3 months ago, they finally completed the project. Obviously, it took much longer than they anticipated.
Okay.
Yeah, as I understand, they take all the water tables drop down, so all the moisture's taken out of what's a very moist environment, and so that shrinkage or subsidence occurs, and the pounding of the trucks just kind of exacerbated the sinking of the foundation.
Yes, sir.
Y'all were involved in some civil litigation. Is that still ongoing?
We are still involved. Unfortunately, I'm sure everyone's aware of the New Orleans Sewerage and Water Board and their troubles. They have been delaying any sort of remedial action for, I believe, 4 years now. I went through them at the very beginning, and they came out and inspected my house probably 5 or 6 times, and I thought they were going to help to fix it, but it turns out they were just trying to build a case against us. They've already had, I believe, 3 groups of homeowners go through trial, and the judge has ruled in their favor every time. And there is a almost exact precedent that took place 10 years ago on the north side of Napoleon Avenue, where the exact same thing happened. And unbelievably, the Sewage and Water Board appealed the first verdict, and the appeal court they appealed to is the appeal court that set the precedent in this initial case that happened at I think over 10 years now. It's mind-boggling, but it continues to this day.
But the courts have ruled in favor of the property owners?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
If there's any other questions, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Let's incorporate, yeah.
Well, no, I'm moving, I'm trying to see where we are in the process, so go ahead. We can talk.
Let's make a motion to,
You want to make a motion to incorporate the prior appeals in the record, let the record reflect, the current record reflect the evidence presented and the decisions rendered in the prior appeals. Be my first motion.
I'll second.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent, Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
Yes.
Our second motion would be to uphold the Board of Review's decision with respect to docket number 18-22176-005.
Let's state
The land value would then be assessed at $80,400 and the improvements $600 for a total of $81,000.
Second?
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent, Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
yes.
If I may, Commissioners?
Sure.
I think the and I could be mistaken, but I think the Board of Review just kicked the can down the road, so they upheld the assessor. I'm not sure.
Well,
if-
our information is that they,
So you may want to uphold the value that the tax commission ruled last year as opposed to
Well-
the Board of Review?
who prepared the briefing sheet?
Yeah.
I could be wrong, I just,
Yeah.
that's what my,
I can present you a letter that we have, and
I mean, we-
is this for the current appeal? Maybe you can take a look.
Yeah, this is the sheet that we get.
okay. I could be mistaken, I just thought that
Well,
that's
it's
what
from the
the,
assessor's office. I mean, we can vacate the previous motion and just do the value. We can do that. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
if there's any doubt, the appeal sheet that was filed comes from the assessor's office.
I think
So,
given the confusion, just
Yeah.
set the value.
yeah, let's,
All right, my
let's make a
motion-
motion to vacate our recent
Make a
decision.
motion to vacate the prior motion and
Second.
decision?
Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagspat,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent, Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
Yes.
My motion would be to set the value of the land at $80,400, the improvements at $600, for a total of $81,000.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagspat,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent, Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. We also have a sheet prepared by the assessor's office that shows the determination of the Board of Review to be $81,000.
okay, like I
I'm
said,
not
I could be
telling you-
mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not telling you what happened, I'm just telling you.
Sure. Yeah, and like I said, I could be mistaken.
I
I just
understand.
remember looking over at the sheet
Sure,
and
that's
I
not a
was,
problem.
thought it looked like they had just passed the
Right.
buck to the
I
tax
understand.
commission.
Not a problem.
Okay.
All right. All right, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we put it back to where it was last year.
Thank you very
Now
much.
put your boxing gloves on and
If you
try
can
to get your money back. The last appeal on today's docket, appeal of Robert Holstein versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review. Item C on the appeals was also settled, so we'll not be hearing that appeal. Next item on the agenda is consideration of change orders.
Phyllis King, Louisiana Tax Commission. We do have submitted for today's meeting a total of 684 change orders. Staff has reviewed the change orders and recommends that the commission approve 656 change orders and place 28 in pending status for further review.
Do you have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we accept staff recommendations and approve 656 change orders and place 28 in pending status.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagspat,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent, Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. All right, we'll now consider the prior pending change orders.
Yes, sir, we do have a previous pendings, 158. Staff has reviewed those change orders and recommends that they approve 101, which would leave 57 still in the pending status.
We have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. My motion would be with respect to the pending change orders that we approve 101 as approved by, as recommended by staff, and defer 57 pending approval.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagspat,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent, Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. The Tax Commission hereby accepts all pre-filed documents and oral testimony into the record as Taxpayer Exhibit 1 in Globo, Assessor Exhibit 1 in Globo, and Louisiana Tax Commission Staff Appraiser Exhibit 1 in Globo for each of the appeal hearings conducted today respectfully. I don't believe we have any tax sale cancellations this week?
That is correct.
Do not. All right. There being no other matters to come before the commission, at this time, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
excuse me. Commissioner Wagasback,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent, Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
Yes.